Hello there. My name is Dante. I am an international and intergalactic teacher and healer. And this video is entitled Everything is Possible. So I'd like you to ask yourself, am I following my heart's desires entirely? Or am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I believing that my greatest dreams can be a reality? Or am I doing and behaving in ways that are just realistic, just what people do? So everything is possible. Miracles are the norm when you fully listen to your heart and you fully own your greatest desires and you realize that there are no limitations, there are only beliefs. Reality will always conform to your description of it. And at first, we can go through periods of time where we realize that parts of ourselves are believing that even if our dreams are possible, we have to struggle to get it. And with time, we can, or it doesn't have to take time. When we get to where we need to reach inside, we can realize that actualizing our dreams can be easy because it is really fun, and on every step of the journey, when our heart's in it, magic is the norm. When you're in the heart, magic happens around you all the time. An example from my own life that I can share, as it will probably be the greatest illustration, is that I have been traveling since December in 2012, so almost 5 years, and I began with very little resources, and nearly the entire journey I've had just enough to get by, magically. And I've been to over 15 countries, I think, in the past 5 years. And I have studied and taught and made magic, made beautiful connections and friends along the way. And a lot of people in my community I know personally are also international travelers who do the exact same thing. Though we all meet in places we go, people who live in the same place for a long time and look at the life of a traveler as some wild fantasy, and as if that it's such a crazy life and that, wow, you must be really well off or come from wealth or something in order for this to work. And so you can travel in spite of anything. I've met other travelers, one guy in the beginning who traveled through South and Central America for several years without even shoes, without spending any money the entire time, and made it work and had an awesome time and was a really powerful healer. I've met a woman who travels the world in a wheelchair. I've met often single mothers or families that continuously travel with young children. And these are some of the basic limitations that people have when it comes to this example of traveling and having experiences, is I don't have enough money, my body can't handle it, the people in my life can't handle it. And these are all just beliefs. So you can go without money entirely, and often I have, next to nothing. In the beginning, it was 2012, and I was introduced to a huge range of new things in my life. One being books from interdimensional beings who spoke about the importance of 2012. Others being sources like Autobiography of a Yogi that showed the real miracles that happen when you listen to the calling of your heart and honor and serve your higher self. Um, and I learned Reiki level 2, and I knew of a gathering happening in Palenque, Mexico, where the ancient um, records were kept of the Mayan calendar that spoke of the shift from one Baktun or cycle to the next that happened in 2012. And I knew that I had to be there. Every cell in my body was like, you've got to go. And not having nearly any money, just having recently been kicked out of my home, in pretty much ill health. I spent all of my money except maybe $100 in one moment on the ticket to Mexico 3 months from that date and the Reiki master training that I would finish in that time. And at that time, the best tool that I had to bring the success into my experience was distance Reiki, to visualize my ideal outcome and continue to send energy to it, send energy to it, send energy to it. And this is, from what I've learned since, a kind of basic practice you can make. And even that was enough, that as I opened myself, I sold so many of my possessions. I had sessions that popped up out of nowhere just in the beginning of my healing practice. Really, just 1 year into my healing practice, I had a lot of sessions and I had a lot of things happening. I received money from people who thought I was totally crazy, and I felt the same fear of going to a foreign country with barely nothing, never having traveled before inside me. Yet I knew that trust, and I knew that when I was connected to my source and sending energy to it, I felt deeply within me that everything's going to be okay, and that this was possible, and this was a great service to myself and to all from what I would learn on this journey. And so despite that fear, I was like, I'm going to be okay. And I received a lot, and it brought me to a good start. And I had amazing experiences that maybe I can talk about in another video. The first year, and many times during traveling, I had some problems with my health that were great teachers for me, that showed me that I can really move forward from this no matter what the condition of my body, and that my body's messages to me were teaching me about myself. And in using those messages as gifts, eventually I found a place where my body can really handle a lot more, and it was a really strengthening process. So, and like I said, whatever you believe is holding you back, if you don't think children can handle international travel, I have met some amazing children of travelers. One child came up to a yoga platform where I was meditating, maybe 4 years old, put his hands over my head and blessed me and sent me this energy, and I felt like, what is going on? It's just a 4-year-old magical child. And children get the vibrations. They instantly get all of the energy that's moving when you make these journeys and make these shifts. So those are some examples from my life, that really what you believe is possible will be possible. And so whether you want to go on a trip, whether you want to embark on a new business idea and a new training or investment in a new lifestyle, whatever it may be, if you want to make some creative project, you have the support when you know in your heart that that is what you really want the most. And your heart is your greatest connection to your source, your higher self, to God, Goddess, however you call that. When you feel that in your heart and you just choose to trust, cooperative components from all realms of creation will come to you and uphold you and support you. And reflect to you that trust that you choose, and to make that choice in spite of fear is very courageous. Yet when you make that choice to do what you feel your heart wants in spite of the fear that is being risen, that is coming to the surface, that is getting your attention, you continue to choose that trust, magic happens. And that experience that comes with it is a feeling of much grace and incredible wonder that once you get a taste of it and you can remember it, you can know those miracles. And you have to first make the first choice. Once you make the first choice to do what you love so much in spite of the fear, and you see the miracles that result, and you keep going in for more, going in for more. There's always more, there's always more. We place the most fear around what is our greatest excitement and passion sometimes. And there's always more that comes up to be integrated as we continue to follow it. So the more you get familiar with this process, that you act in your heart, you live from your heart, and the fears that say that's not possible come up, and you know that those are just old beliefs and you can let go of them, the easier it is to create your life magically. And I'm still in a learning process. We're all still in a learning process of how to do this. Though as we more and more embody that trust and illustrate that trust, teach about that trust, the more the world catches on to that trust. And with that trust, we can change the planet together. um, and it is really blissful. So I hope you continue to choose to be bliss.